who knows what's going to happen in the criminal case? I can only say this, that the ultimate movement of that case probably was justified. It was probably justified. But the interesting component of that is that one of the bases for moving it was the exercise of the First Amendment rights by the community. The rights of the community to and things that I talked to them about. Protest, organize, go talk to the public officials, do it in an orderly way, make your presentation. It's all news. But at the end of the day, it was part of the basis upon which the case was moved. It wasn't the sole basis because the case had been saturated with the media, and I'm not that happy how the prosecution presented their case. I tried to be helpful to them, but they ultimately thought I was interfering. And I tried to be helpful. And the reason why I look, because look, I'm a former prosecutor as well, and I understand that, and I know Jim is here, and prosecutors have a limited view. They're so accustomed to getting everything their own way. They're in their own county. They don't really think outside the box. And so I was trying to encourage them that you need to get your own study here, and you need to deal with other kinds of issues. But we couldn't, it may not have worked, but it should have been done. Now the question is, what happens to the case? Our big concern here, very much what happened in the Rodney King criminal case, is that it gets moved from the major city and then moves to another city that has a total different demographics, one that is, metropolitan, and the other is a bedroom community for cops. I don't know where this case is going to go, but I want it to be thoughtful about the kind of demographics that will be involved in the county in which it's going to go. Because to do otherwise will be a disservice to the community of where Oscar Grant comes from. It will cause a tremendous uprising in the African American community. Right. And it has to be some sense that it's being fairly presented. Now, it's no secret, I don't think the case is a murder case. I mean, I've said that, and I have a sense about where it ought to wind up. But at the same time, it is important for the community at large to be participatory in this process. And there's a role for lawyers, and I've tried to participate on different levels. Obviously, I have client interests, but I also have a social responsibility in large measure because people listen to what I have to say, particularly the African American community, and others as well. At least that's what they tell me. So I try to be responsive to guide people and provide direction on how to handle and understand the various competing issues. Because here you had this conflict really between the First Amendment rights of the community and how they exercise themselves and the Sixth Amendment right of a fair trial to the defendant. Two very important rights that conflicted at the time. And so I think our duties as lawyers, obviously, is to help bring about those kinds of understandings of the various issues. And certainly I have tried to do that as a sole practitioner, as Pamela would say. We try to do it, but I will say that I'm very fortunate that I have been able to practice law and live my life in such a way that I could make the kind of decisions and do what I have done. And I have in my office and at my house a picture of Rosa Parks. And under it, it says, "The choices you make in life determine your destiny." And it's so true. It's not a profound statement, but it is something that is instructive because we make little decisions along the way. And those little decisions can have significant ramifications. All of them are not going to wind up in the newspapers. All of them are not going to be announced on high. But every one of them, if it looks to improve the quality of lives of people you are around, those who are less fortunate than yourself, you have moved the social agenda. And that has always been the case, and it always will be. So I only say to all of you that you do wonderful work. And I hope and trust that given where we are and understand the intractable problems that we now face, we all know what they are. I mean, I think Latifah has mentioned them. These are problems that will not go away, but they have to be chipped at every day. That is your challenge, and it's my challenge. Thank you.